Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be taking a look into major winter storm Jacob forecast here. This will be my final snowfall forecast, but first we're going to take a look into the watch warning map, and oh boy, we got multiple watches and warnings out there, and even some advisories as well. So in those purples there, you can see there from like Texas. Rockies, even around the Great Lakes region, most of Missouri, those are winter weather advisories. Typically, winter weather advisories are meant for like some road, especially meaning for road conditions. And there's also meaning for snowfall amounts. And I don't know how much snow is the max for a winter weather advisory. I'm gonna guess probably somewhere between 3 to maybe even 5 inches of snow. And that's what it could be. These blues you see here, kind of around Upper Michigan, Northern, and Eastern Michigan, those are winter storm watches. And these pink areas here, those are winter storm warnings there. And that's where you can see a decent amount of snow up there. These blues here, those are wind chill advisories, if I'm correct. Yes, they are. And yeah, what this storm's going to bring, it's going to bring a lot of snow. It's also going to bring quite a bit of wind, especially in the warm sector of all things. Pretty much around the lower Ohio Valley, it's going to get probably going to get most of the wind. It's going to bring a lot of cold air with it there as well, which almost forgot about that. I will probably show you guys the temperatures for the European model in just a moment. But first, let's kind of get into the snow. And let's first take a look into the NAM here. And as you can see there, if we're already in an hour, uh, keep in mind this does include sleet and freezing rain, so this is not an accurate look here. So you kind of have to look into the rain and frozen precipitation to really see, because it's not going to be 9 or 10 inches of snow in portions of Texas, Oklahoma, even in Kansas. That's actually sleet and freezing rain. Now it's not going to be that much sleet or freezing rain. I'll show you guys the ice forecast from one model. I can only show you one model, unfortunately, but as you can see here, there's a pretty wide spread from 6 to 8 inches of snow. It is very widespread across portions of the northern plains, the Great Lakes region, the upper Midwest, even the Northeast as well. Which the Northeast, however, look like you're not going to see too much snow up there in the Northeast, unless if you're around the Great Lakes region. Oh yeah, you're going to get quite a bit of that. Here's the GFS model right here. It seems like the models are kind of backing off with snowfall amounts to the northeast, which is pretty interesting. And again, this is not a realistic look here, at least for the southern portions here. Like Missouri, it's not really accurate. Texas and Oklahoma's not accurate either. But if you get up to the Great Lakes region, the upper Midwest, those are the actual snowfall totals from the GFS here and from the other models as well. Again, widespread 6 to 8 inches. There's even some areas reaching to 10 inches in a few spots there as well. And we'll take a look into one more model, and this is the CMC model here. Now, this is an accurate look here. It does not include sleet or freezing rain, but again, widespread 6 to 8 inches of snow. Some areas could probably see up to 10 inches of snow for some of these areas here. And let's go ahead and move on to the European models very quickly, look into the snowfall amounts as well. And again, as you can see here, probably the most realistic look I could probably see here. Again, pretty widespread, around 8 inches of snow for a lot of people as well. Which I'll show you guys my forecast here. Uh, and again, there's a lot of local, 8 plus, 12 plus areas in here as well, because we're not 100% sure how much snow. Snow sometimes could be difficult to forecast here. And so let's go ahead and first take a look in the white here. You can see in the white color, that's a dusting to 1 inch here. This is the western flank of all this that kind of comes from the Dakotas down to around New Mexico. At least for those mountains, there could see a dusting to 1 inch. There's another area of dusting 1 inch, but it could be locally over 1 inch. And this kind of, we'll zoom in here. You can see it kind of includes places like New York, New Haven, New Haven, Province. Now, that's not really include Boston. Boston is at 1 to 3 inches. Locally, could be a little over 3 inches here. You can see it kind of continues. It's a pretty sharp cutoff here. Oh yeah, the pink area here. I do have a little bit of an ice forecast here as well. Possibly about 1/10 of an inch to probably a quarter of an inch of ice is possible for anybody that is going to be the pink area. It kind of includes places like Kansas City, Springfield, Illinois, very close to Columbus, Ohio, and even Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as well. Even for Amarillo, Texas there as well. And and now 1/10 an inch of ice can be significant. You can see power outages. Now, good news is for some of these areas in the icy area might be able to change over to rain. But we'll see about that. It really depends where the low pressure track is going to go on this here, and that kind of includes all the snow as well. It just really could change everything. Let's move into a little bit more of the Great Lakes region and the upper Midwest. You can see there's a 3 to 5 inches range, very widespread. That includes most of Minnesota, upper portion of Michigan, portions of Nebraska, Iowa, and even for far northern portion of Illinois, which that does include Chicago as well, and even Omaha, Iowa as well. And that darker blue, that is 5 to 8 inches. Now we have two different areas here. You got one area that is west of Lake Michigan and another area east of Lake Michigan. Now the difference here is that I don't think it would be locally over 8 inches, but it could be possible. But if you're in central Michigan, you can probably see possibly over 8 inches of snow. Kind of similar situation in purple here, which includes places like Green Bay and in Minneapolis, which you can see 8 to probably a foot of snow. Some areas could probably see over a foot of snow as well, and that's not the only area of that. There's actually some other small areas here, small areas of Pennsylvania and even New York State here because of lake effect snow, and that kind of is similar to central Michigan with some of these snowfall amounts along Lake Erie and Lake Ontario as well. I'll zoom in here because it is for very small areas. The 8 to 12 inches does include a place like Buffalo and even Erie, Pennsylvania as well. Uh, I'm not going to try guessing that town name, city name. I'm sorry if any viewers live there. But anyways, most of the Northeast is looking to have 3 to 5 inches of snow, but you can locally see over 5 inches of snow, at least for the uh, up higher elevations there. You got some mountain terrain up there. That's why I put in the locally 5 inches there. And that's kind of the overview of my snowfall forecast, or even the ice forecast as well. Kind of included in here. And I should probably talk about the ice as well. As you can see here, typically models do overdo ice amounts almost all the time here. Now, I don't think you're going to see over a half an inch of ice. Like in central Missouri, I kind of doubted the same thing for around Texas and Oklahoma. Kind of doubted on that as well. But overall, I think you're just going to have 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Now, that's, some areas could probably exceed a quarter of an inch of ice for some areas, of course, but it's not going to be not as impressive as these values here. About there's a areas of 0.68 inches of ice, and It kind of includes portions of West Virginia as well, Pennsylvania, all the way back into New Mexico there as well. And let's take a look into those temperatures there. That's what it's gonna. Boy, it's gonna get cold. It's already cold already. Like Fargo right now, it's about negative 11 degrees. Um, Green Bay's 10 degrees. I mean, it's just very cold right now. Now we do not have wind chills on this on this website here. Let's kind of go into 5 o'clock on Friday. Now it's getting mild around Rapid City there with temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s. There's even some areas kind of going up to in the 50s there as well. Yeah, pretty sharp cutoff there with the temperatures. Around the low pressure system, it's around 50 degrees. Here's 12 a.m. It starts to push a little bit more of an eastward track. Look all this cold air that's about to come in here. A high level Alberta, negative 28. I mean, that is some serious cold air. Let's move on to 12 o'clock, and you can see here it starts to pour in Saturday night into a lot of areas here, like Bismarck. 6 o'clock in the morning, negative 11 degrees, very cold. And if you move on to 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, it is still in the negatives, and it kind of extends all the way down to Iowa City. I mean, it's just very cold temperatures. And let's go down to the next night here. It just gets even colder around North Dakota and Minnesota with negative 18 degrees. But there's also a pretty widespread teens as well. You even got you uh, about, yeah, around Jacksonville, about 42 degrees. That's chilly for those guys there. Here's 7 o'clock in the morning here. And again, very cold temperatures. And we should probably talk about the wind as well. And there's going to be some wind with the system here, especially in the lower Ohio Valley. And of course, some other areas will get a lot of wind as well. And same thing in the snow, but it's not going to be in blizzard category there. Um, you're going to need blowing snow and some pretty gusty or sustained winds. Do not know how fast the winds will be going, but you're going to need blinding snow for the most part for blizzard warnings to be issued there. That's I've learned that from one person that's weather now. He kind of wrote it for everybody because mostly everyone was saying blizzard conditions, but he is a college student, so he knows a lot of stuff than we do. But anyways, here let's kind of move on to the wind gust here. You can see here some areas are kind of seeing sustained winds about 30 miles an hour in a few spots. Now that does not count as blizzard conditions here, but the winds still get stronger as it starts to deepen about 40 miles an hour. Here's 1 o'clock, about 37. Let's take a look into those wind gusts. Yeah, it's something else like 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Let's take a look into the lower Ohio Valley as well. Nearing 60. I think that's a little overdone there for around Kentucky and Tennessee. And that kind of dies down very quickly into Saturday evening. And there could be some pretty chilly temperatures. Well, wind chills, I should say, about 5 o'clock. I mean, Indianapolis, 27-mile-an-hour wind gusts, 19 degrees. That's wind chills, probably about single digits there. And you can see here up at like around Minnesota, it's probably about negative 20 degrees for wind chills. So it's going to be very cold. And as well as the lake effect snow. Yep, the lake effect snow machine is going to be turned on. And I think it's going to go on for about quite a while there. And I don't think we're not going to see any more major systems. I think we're just going to be stuck in cold air for the most part next week. I think the coldest day will be for Monday. And we'll kind of look on here, see if there's anything major. Doesn't really look like it. GFS kind of showing something. We'll see about next 10 days. Yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of snow there from that look. Here's the European model, and looks like that's the only major system to watch in the next 10 days, and that's going to be Major Winter Storm Jacob there. But anyways, guys, this is all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this winter storm update. If y'all did like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. If y'all guys got questions about this, you put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys questions. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.